Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is beginning of the month for the month of March Tarot Oracle reading. And Libra, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Libra, we still all have a little bit of Libra in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Libra in? That's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. Please recognize this is a collective or general reading, so parts may or may not resonate. And also this is a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that will give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we're going to start with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. Okay, and the first part of this reading is going to be tarot for about 2/3, and then for those of you who want more clarification, I will use my Tales from the Vector Oracle. So this is the 10 of Cups, ultimate fulfillment, Libra. This is, Libra is the stage where you're a mature adult and you're ready to get married, and this is saying, hey, you have the perfect partner, the 2.5 children, and the happy home, and you love where you live, you love your partner, you love your children, you love your pets, you love your family, you love your work, you love, just everything is going as perfectly as it can in a perfectly imperfect world. That's the underlying energy for the whole reading. And this is because judgment is being called. So perhaps this is after the judgment is being called, or you're calling judgment, because this is internal forces. So the internal forces are the things that keep you up at night saying, what if I do this and they do that? What if I do this and they do this? That type of energy. And it's your internal forces. You do have control over your internal forces. But it's your reaction or response to the external forces that matter when it comes to that. And you'll notice here that the ancestors are coming out of their boxes. This represents the fact that this judgment could be coming in for them as well. It could be something that they've been wanting judgment and justice for like, more than a generation. And also the descendants are waving from the other side. This can represent opening Pandora's box or skeletons coming out of the closet. We have the sun. Yes. Okay, so if the sun is shining down on this, the judgment is coming from God and it's coming down to earth, so it's going to happen. And this is talking about to put you on your destined path. So you're destined, this is representing you as a young child, and you are destined to be happy. The sun is the happiest card in the deck. And you see this small child is riding this pony with no reins, no saddle, not even hanging on, not a fear in the world, carrying this heavy banner, which represents your life, basically, your destiny. And the sunflowers are all turning with the sun and shining on the situation. Awesome. And then we have, okay, this is the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords is representing a mental prison of some sort. So this person is bound and blindfolded. So it can say they can't see the truth, or they don't want to see the truth. This is talking about feeling duty bound in some way. And, because it would be easy to walk out of this, but they're not walking out. The swords represent the thoughts and your mental intelligence and your willpower. I said willpower. So willpower, and also your discipline over your mind. And I feel like at one point there was way more water here. Water in the tarot represents emotions. But now, I feel like these swords are behind you now, and there's just this one that you still are contemplating, and that might be the this or that now, like which way am I going to go with this? And this is talking about like your right foot is now moving forward on dry land, and your left foot is still in a puddle, but the puddle is very shallow, and this represents your emotions. I'm not saying that your emotions are shallow, but that you don't have as much emotion now as you did in the beginning. And we have opportunities galore coming in. So this is the Seven of Cups represents, each of these cups has a gift, and the cups in the tarot represent love, same as this. So yeah, it's saying that you have ultimate fulfillment coming your way, probably due to these 7 opportunities that are being given to you. So these 7 opportunities, each of these cups has a gift in it. It's up to you which ones you want to choose and which ones you don't, and what order you would choose them in. But this is basically saying you're like a black hole sucking in opportunity. There's just like, they are probably challenges, but they are, you know, there's possibilities disguised as challenges. That is saying that you're going to have to put effort into them, but they are really good opportunities. And then this is talking about Fools Rushing In energy. This card has been coming up a lot in the readings up to this point. It's talking about an energy, like either this person is running from the judgment or running to your energy, something like that. This is, you know, the knights would work for the king and queen in delivering messages in the old days, and that was the only form of communication. But now we have, you know, phone calls, we have text messages, emails, social media, we can message each other on that. There's just so many forms of communication, and we can also, you know, get news from social media as well as from, you know, the regular news. And so this is talking about some sort of communication coming in. But what the Knight of Swords, you can see that he's really like driving his horse, or his horse has gotten away from him. And he is, you know, sometimes this represents a fool rushing in. This big red plume on the back, this scarf coming back here, represents possibly being a hothead. And we can only see half his sword, so he only has half the information, and he doesn't, where's the point? What's your point? That's the kind of energy, and he's running against the wind, and it's through barren land. So this is sometimes saying that the information that you receive from this knight may not be 100% accurate. Sometimes this can represent private eye energy, like an investigation going on. That type of energy, but we'll have, because we also have this card here and Judgment. This card sometimes can represent physical prison, like someone being charged with something and ending up in jail kind of energy. We'll see what's going on. We have the competition, and this card's been coming in a lot also. I think it's just, it doesn't matter how much I shuffle. These are the cards that are coming out right now, and that's just the way it is. Just learn to live with it. Sometimes like I'll shuffle quite a while because I'm like, okay, you know, I want to make sure, and because this is very similar to a couple readings ago, this energy. But whatever, it's sometimes the universe drives its point home through the cards. So this is talking about competition, and it's the only card where there's adolescents fighting like this. And so it's some sort of competition that's immature. And it's talking about, like, you know, as we get older, we start to realize that even when we're competing with others for a medal or a job, or, you know, to get something, we're really competing with ourselves, because if we can keep our shift together under pressure, then we're more likely to win. And even if we're on a team, if we can be the best player that we can be, and everybody else on the team is the best player that they can be, and then we communicate well together, we're more likely to win. This is my Mean Girls card. Think of grade 4 girls and, you know, and they're cheerleaders, narcissistic cheerleaders, and they want to win. And, you know, they can see the other team was better than them, but they still want to win. and if they don't succeed, their mothers will. This is the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. And the Knight of Pentacles is bringing in some information about the pentacle. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, happiness in 3D matters. It's more about lifestyle. I mean, they're represented by the coin, which is, you know, money. But the thing is that you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. And so this is more about lifestyle. And money, of course, being a big part of that. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight of the deck. His horse is at a standstill. And it's really like, this can be information you're waiting a really long time for it to come in. But the good news is when it does come in, generally he's done his research or whatever, the information is solid. And quite often it will be about a lot of money, like a legacy, something, generational wealth, some information about something like that. Not just a small amount of money, but a lot of money. So that's your internal forces here. And we're just going to go through this. So this is how you're identifying yourself in your self-image as a child of God. And here is your abundance and self-worth. You're in a mental prison right now. You don't see your life as being abundant for some reason. And your self-worth is kind of like, yeah, it's almost like you're a sacrifice. Here we have communication in your early life, lots and lots of opportunities available to you, because this is how this is the energy you're supposed to be in. This is your emotional foundation. So it's kind of talking about not always just having half the information of something. So there might have been a lot of secrets in your family, like that kind of energy. A lot of, I don't know, like just not half-truths is what I'm getting. And then there's creativity, romance, and children. A lot of arguing between siblings, a lot of arguing between, I'm getting in a bigger level, like between cousins and siblings, and you know, maybe even the adults were just acting like adolescents, that kind of energy. A lot of like kind of a competitive edge to the family in general. And then we have health and daily routines and habits. So slow to change is what's coming up. So this, I've never quite read the cards quite like this before. It's kind of interesting because we've starting off with the happiest card in the deck, and this ultimate fulfillment, judgment being called, and then boom, we go into this energy. And so let's see some more what's going on here. Okay, this is talking about you walking away. This is the external forces, the underlying energy for the external forces. And this is talking about you're walking away from something that you put a lot of effort into, this usually represents romantic love, but sometimes it can represent something, someone else that you love, as well as something you love to do or something you love to be. And we have the energies here of the new moon and the full moon. So here, and so I just wanted to explain a little bit about the energy right now. So the new moon we just had on the 17th, and it's the 22nd now as I'm doing this reading. So it'll be the 23rd when this comes out. So the new moon was like about almost a week ago now, and the new moon was in the sign of Aquarius, and it was opposed by the Leo energy, because Leo is directly across the wheel, and so in the horoscope. And so the Leo energy is about, what about me? I want to shine my light in my specific way as an individual, and I'm willing to lead, but I want to lead from a place of like where I'm strong individually. And the Aquarius energy is saying, well, you have to look after the group's needs first. Like that's just the way it has to be. And on that same day we had the Chinese New Year, and we've moved into the year of the fiery horse on that day. And the fiery horse energy, this is exactly the energy you don't want to be in when in the fiery horse energy. And this energy, it's so slow, it's painful, but for whatever reason at this time, well, I know the reasons, but this is sort of saying this is the better energy to be in than this. This you don't want to be in. This is like being really super impulsive, hot-headed, not knowing the whole truth and moving forward anyway. Now is not a good time to be in that energy. The year of the fiery horse is going to be like, it's one where you set high goals for achievement, and you're doing your best to kind of set high achievement, but you may not be giving yourself enough time to get it done kind of job. And like kind of like this energy here, no matter how fast you go, it still doesn't come in. It's slow. And then the other energy for love is very passionate and heartfelt, because horses are all about heart. And then the danger of this energy is that you can be like, set your goals so high that you burn yourself out trying to achieve them. Or it can also be like, impulsive energy is not a good way to go right now. Like when your horse runs away from you, you can end up going really far in the wrong direction. And if you're being really like aggressive with your emotions, it could cause a lot of problems down the road for you. So we have, like, on that new moon on the 17th, we had the energy of I want to worry about me, but being kind of like forced to kind of look after everybody else instead. Being in this energy of this impulsive information coming in, and I don't. I feel like this is more. This could represent more like family. It's not necessary, but you have to deal with it. Like a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking about, basically. And then, but really competitive. And no, it's I'm right. No, I'm right. Kind of energy like that. And I'm better than you are. That kind of energy, you know, even as people get older. And so this energy is just talking about, now, we don't see really a partner here or whatever, but if you have just walked away from a relationship, or they've walked away from you, is the energy. And this is talking like, you see there's 5 cups neatly here, and then there's these 3, and there's a gap in here. And so quite often this ends up saying that you were someone that had you were that there was a third party involvement. Sorry, I was trying to get this out and saying. So this could say that your partner was cheating with someone and you found out, or it could be the opposite. And so that's the kind of underlying energy from the deck here. We also have, I'm just going to explain this because we have both moons on here. So this energy at the same time on the new moon there was an eclipse, and that eclipse was in it was a solar eclipse, and that meant that for a short period of time the moon blocked out the sun. And so now the eclipse season, that was the very first eclipse of 2026. And when eclipses happen, it will shake up your life quite a bit. It'll be like something, quite a big change in your life. And it can happen over like a 6-month period. It's not necessarily something sudden, but generally there's a change coming over. And the thing about eclipses is that if there's a weakened area in your life, that's the energy that will be highlighted, and that's what you end up working on. But you have to be careful, because when you're hyper-focused on one area of your life, then sometimes you miss things in other areas. And so this is also on the 3rd of March, there's going to be a full moon, and that one will be in Virgo. And this energy is the lunar eclipse. So this time the sun's going to shine more light on the situation, and you're going to get more answers. So that's why it's a really good time to be in this energy more than this energy, for sure. Rushing in and making impulsive decisions, you'll probably regret later. Whereas this energy is, it's slow. But we have a retrograde also on the 26th of January in Mercury. And so communication is going to be sort of backwards a lot. And that's going to last well into till the 20th of March. And the effects of that can be heavy, probably close to the whole month. So this energy of going slow is the smart way to go right now. What this is saying basically is, if you're deciding to move forward or walk away or do whatever, make all the plans to do so, so you have everything lined up. That's what Virgo energy wants. Virgo, this full moon will be in Virgo, and Virgo wants you to line everything up and have everything all perfectly in order before you make the move. And in this energy, it's very supported to do it that way. And then we have the energy of your, so we have the energy of your marriage, commitment, and partnerships. And we have, like this energy here, look at, there's the 3 cups that are here, basically. And so this card is, yeah, they're celebrating, but no one's looking at each other. And these 3 cups, what are they celebrating? You walking away? Because this is like, what is this about? Why is there 3 cups and then 3 cups? And if these represent romantic love, why is there 3 people instead of 2? And they're not looking at each other. In many cultures, particularly in Europe, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, it causes 7 years bad luck in your romantic life. And they'll freak out if you like, look at me, when you're toasting someone. And so this to me is talking about gossip. This could represent, one of these people could be the third party and they're happy you're walking away, or that your partner walked away from you, because this is about your partner. Like this is commitment to your partner in your marriage. Why are 3 people celebrating in this way? It doesn't make sense. So here we have it. That's the external forces. We have the King of Swords coming in. So the King of Swords is a professional that generally, like the swords represent your thoughts, as we said, and the mental intelligence and your discipline of your mind. The King of Swords is highly regarded as a professional, and this is someone that uses their words to earn their living, whether that be written or verbalized. And you know, the King of Swords has his sword up. He understands that talk is cheap and actions do speak louder than words. Having said that, he also understands that words can be used as weapons. And this card generally will represent someone that uses words to earn their living. So it could be someone that's very well educated also. It could be someone that's also into research or something like that. You know, an inventor. It could be like someone that uses their mind a lot. And so this card could represent, say, a lot of times it represents lawyers because of all the talking in court and, you know, having to study all the laws. And it could be a judge. If it is a lawyer, it's someone who's up in the firm, someone who's a partner. Like this is higher up energy. This can also represent politicians. So people that are in high level of government, you know, as far up as like president, prime minister, an actual king. We have also the energy. It could be a surgeon that's very, you know, known for their work. That's a specialist or something like that. We have the energy, it could be an influencer, that kind of energy. And so there's someone that is good at, and quite often, as when we have this kind of energy walking away from a relationship, maybe there being a third party, judgment being called, possibly, you know, this energy feeling imprisoned. This is, and the competition even. I feel like this could be representing someone, like maybe something happened and now you're looking to get divorced from your partner. That could be the King of Swords, or you could be the King of... no, this wouldn't be you. This would be your partner if it is. Could be a lawyer. And yeah, there we have it. This is waking up in the middle of the night with a nightmare, and it's a never-ending nightmare. Like you don't know how to get out of this. Something's happened here. You don't see a way out. Oh, here we go. Clear that energy. Whew. It's like you're not getting enough sleep, and you're just, it's you know, just feeling like always stressed out and anxious. And this can also be talking about in the wee hours of the morning, because we have God here, the sun shining, and this is supposed to shine happiness on the rest of the reading. So this is talking maybe about getting enlightenment in the wee hours of the morning between 2 and 4 is when that usually happens, when the Holy Spirit visits and gives us, oh, here's the steps of action to take to get out of whatever your mess that you're in, kind of energy. And this quilt has universal symbols on it, and that represents that the universe has you covered. Sometimes this card can also talk about really you not wanting to get out of bed. You know, it can talk about depression, that kind of energy, and just being really bored and down. So we'll see what's going on here. So this is, because this is your partnerships, and there's 3 people here, so that kind of, you know, and a lot of gossip I'm getting. And this is a transition happening, like the swords coming in. It's getting cleaned up. This is talking about higher education. So I do feel that this could be some communication coming in from source energy, from God. That, you know, it's going to get better, and you might be trying to remember a dream. And I can also represent that. This is someone who's been carrying a lot of weight. And the wands represent actions. They can represent your actions and other people's actions. If they represent other people's actions, it's actions that you're carrying for them. So this can really represent carrying a lot of burdens that don't belong to you, that you need to put down. But it also can represent steps that you've taken and seeds that you've planted, and now they've grown into the wands, and this is your harvest. Some of these could be assets, but your life has changed a lot, and what you used to want, you no longer want. It's that kind of energy. It's still an asset. Like, for example, you bought a house and you really loved it and you loved living in it and whatever, but maybe now that your partner's walked away, now it's a liability more than an asset, because the market's changed and you can't sell it for the price you want to sell it for. That kind of energy, it can be a real burden. And then, so this is talking about don't quit now. Like, look at how close this person is to home, but they can't see it because they're so weighed down by this energy. So this is saying there's probably a better way to do whatever you're doing. And if you think there's a better way, then probably there is. And so this could be saying, like, if you know, hey, 3 or 4 of these wands are not even mine, I'm just carrying that burden for someone else, put them down and phone them up and say, hey, I left your wands out in the field there, go pick them up yourself. I'm not carrying this burden for you anymore. You're the one who took the action, you're the one who did it, you're going to have to look after it. I'm going to look after myself now. And that's the energy we had at the beginning with that new moon energy coming in. And so this is, because Libra energy is an adult that's ready to be mature enough to get in a committed relationship. And so if your partner isn't ready to do that and you are, it's not going to be fun. Because then it probably means you're the one who's the most responsible, and then picking up the pieces when they mess up. And there we have it, heartache. There's 3 swords in this heart. And these 3 swords represent, like, there's one dividing 2. So that's this energy here, the whole here. And so this is, at first when you look at it, oh my God, like, it looks like horrible. And you know, there's 3 swords in this person's heart. But when you look again, you realize the heart is bigger in context than that. For those would be like those little cocktail swords that you get on your drinks. I don't know why that's coming up. So this energy is talking about, you know, a third party energy and heartbreak over it. And it can also be talking about a lot of gossip and people, harsh words being said, that kind of energy. So let's see what else is going on. And that is blessings and friends. Well, these friends don't seem to be that much of a blessing. Oh yeah, someone was tempted. So the devil's here. And this is like your spirituality. This is your spirituality and any secrets coming out and endings. So this is talking about temptation, basically. And so These two lovers are yoked to each other, and they're chained to Saturn's box. So they have sold their souls to the devil. They could slip out of these chains, but they can't because they gave up their choice. And so the devil is like hunched over them here on Saturn's box, and this represents your animal instincts, and the devil is like in charge here. And so this card, when temptation devil energy comes up, I always take the next card and see what is who does the devil send in as a minion to do his dirty work? What's it about kind of energy? Or does God step in and stop it? So we have this energy here. Okay, so this is talking about someone that is considering leaving. And that would be, and then they did decide to walk away, basically. This is someone who feels that they've gotten everything they can out of this situation. There's nothing more they can, to get out of it. You notice there's no pentacles here. And the devil likes pentacles. So it's kind of like, I've reached like maximum that I can in this situation. I'm a big fish in a little pond. I need to move on. This is contemplating moving to other shores. And this is talking about leaving this relationship, basically, thinking about it and about to take action. It's kind of like saying it's been really challenging that this was supposed to be so happy and everything, and then it just went to shift, basically. The devil came in, someone got tempted, other people were involved, and it looks like your family members were, like, it's just all like messed up. Let's see what this is about more. For those of you who want to get the heck out of here, I don't blame you. This isn't the most fun energy, but I can't apologize, Libra. This is just, you know, and actually these cards have been coming up, but in a different order for other people. So that the way they're reading here is just saying, no wonder you want judgment to be called. Because this is a situation where you're supposed to be happy and have this. And there is information, and it took a long time for that information to come in. But look that's the only pentacle here. Otherwise, we don't see like a happy lifestyle anywhere in this reading. And this is just the promise of something coming in. And we have a lot of people like thinking this is funny, or, you know, celebrating. A lot of people that shouldn't be competing with you and having only half the story, and you feeling like bound up and you can't do what you want to do. Like there's all these opportunities here, but then there's all this information and energy coming towards you of this negativity. So we're going to look into this some more, because I know this is something that, because if this card is here, it's talking about God is stepping in with judgment, and it is going to change. It's just like right now what it is. And you would have a better idea probably of what this is about. I do feel there was infidelity in your relationship. And, you know, there's probably been, I don't know, I just am getting this feeling that friends and family were involved and knew about it, and you're dealing with that. So let's just see here. Because these are the external forces are, you know, what you don't have control over. You can control your reaction or your response to it. And that's what I want to find out. What is the best way for you to respond, or, you know, instead of reacting to this, let's get you in a place where, let's see if we can get a little bit more information. If you're leaving off here, I do hope you've gotten value out of this. Please do give it a like and comment if you have. It really helps me build my channel. Consider subscribing. I'd be honored if you did so. And I'm going to use Tales from the Vector, which is my oracle, and that's Tails, to clarify. This is something I started working on in 2007, and that's something that I want to bring up here. This energy of this full moon eclipse on March the 3rd is, there were in 2007 on March the 3rd, almost a duplicate of this energy. Of where the astrological elements were. And if you look back in 2007, what was going on around that time in your life, it may give you further clarity here. I was starting to, that's when I started this oracle. So I was like, whoa, this is really wild. And then in 1980, what was going on? If you can think that far back, depending on your age, right? In 1980, I was actually in Australia, and I had gone there for 4 months to just go backpacking, and I ended up staying for a year and a half because you could get working visas really easy. I just worked in bars and that. You could only work a little bit here and there, but there was more for there was a lot of people backpacking. It was a lot of fun, a lot of travelers traveling through Australia at that time in that way. And then in 1988, what was happening? In 1988, that was the last year I was single. I got married in 1989. And then after that, 2007, I started working on this oracle. So it's those three, but in particular, March 3rd, 2007, check into what was going on. And if you're not old enough to have had something significant, it could have been you were born in that year or something like that, or something that happened to one of your parents, because we do have the ancestors also saying, hey, we want some, we want some justice here. So that's something I thought I'd mention to give you more clarity here, like what the heck is going on here. And I'm going to put the numbers on here on these cards represent the numbers in my website. So I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and there's a gallery of the paintings for this. There's 64 paintings, and I finished them in 2020, but I'm writing up the information now. I haven't had time until now to do a proper job of it. And so the numbers that are listed on these cards are the numbers of the paintings in my gallery. So you can look up which ones came up here. And I will have that in the description box below in the order that they appear in the reading. Sometimes they say like a painting can, or a picture can paint 1,000 words. And I just feel like there's some, it's clear. It's clear, but it's like, okay, now what can we do about it though? That's what I want to know. What's the best actions? Or I know this is saying like, because of the astrological influences, to go slow right now, to really check out, everything before you sign anything for sure. But further than that, what can we do here for Libra to be able to, oh, here we go. This is the energy. Okay, so there's a tower coming probably, if, which is not unusual. And after the tower, that's when things are going to shift. So the tower is a reality check, basically. And when there's a tower, it means that the energy's been like this for a while, and it's kind of like being ignored or whatever, and finally, kaboom. The lightning hits the tower and knocks everybody out, and you have to do something about it. It's that kind of energy. So we had these cards all popped out. The anger, so the karmic space of anger, and that's sitting on the ancestors and on the judgment. So I feel like there could be some anger from your ancestors coming in, or something passed down, like something about pentacles, and it causing kind of a lot of hardship in everybody's life, and all this bickering and like that kind of energy, just really discordant energy. We have the Taurus energy coming in. And so this Taurus energy is talking about the give and take in life. Taurus is the second sign in the zodiac, and it's talking about learning the give and take in life, like how much money, time, energy should you invest in something, and then what would you expect to get back in return. And that's sort of something that we learn as we go. And so this Taurus energy, I just want to point out, when the horoscope signs come up in my readings like this, I'm not talking like, oh, a Taurus did it. It's more like, okay, that's the energy. Now, what can we learn from it? Because generally, most of us have most of the signs in our chart. And so we can learn from each of the signs, and that's more my goal. Now, for you, it might be, yeah, no, this is a Taurus. Yeah, that's okay. That means in your, like, use your intuition for that. It's just not my intention. My intention is I want to learn from it. Like, every one of the signs has their pluses and minuses, like the things that they're really strong at, and then the weaknesses, that you want to avoid. And so this is talking about pride, all or nothing. I've got a little cat on my lap right now, and she's got happy feet, and she's purring away. This is about persuasion. So a cat's purr is very healing, and it raises the vibration. And so, but sometimes we can be persuaded to stay in a situation because it's being presented as, oh, it's way better than it looks. Just give it a chance kind of energy. But how long do you want to give it a chance for? Yeah, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So people could have good intentions, or you could have intentions. Okay, I'll get around to these opportunities tomorrow. And when then another problem comes up. Okay, well, I'll get around to it next week. And that's when the tower hits, because it keeps on, like something else happens. And sometimes this can be like orchestrated, and sometimes it's just because you have a dysfunctional family, basically. We have surrender here. So this is talking about the ancestors, like wanting some justice. Sometimes we'll get that feeling, or we wake up in the middle of the night and it's actually our ancestors coming to us in our dreams, because they can't really communicate except through intuition when they're on the other side. And so if there is that kind of energy, sometimes all of a sudden you'll feel a coldness come into the room, and that is talking sometimes about spirit, like people that are in spirit form. This is the Virgo energy, is talking about being a young adult. This is the energy right before the Libra energy. This would be when you got your ticket for, like, if you're into some sort of like an electrician, a plumber, something like that you could now have your own business, or you're not apprenticing anymore. It could talk about a degree at university. It could be like, like that you are now able to move forward as an adult and actually earn money doing what it is that you've been studying to do. And then, that's a very young adult, basically. And then the Libra energy is, okay, now I'm ready for a commitment. I'm ready to settle down and have a family, if that's what you want to do. Or, really go after your career, whatever that is that you want. And this is judgment coming in. So we've got judgment coming in, and we have it coming in twice here. And so this is saying again, now in my oracle, this is a really kind of different looking dragon. She's pink and green, and she is falling through the sky in one, and which represents the heart chakra, like your personal heart chakra. But this is representing the cosmic judgment and God's judgment coming in on this whole situation. With this information that comes in, I feel that, I don't know, there's something happened to your ancestors, and it hasn't been resolved yet, and it's caused, maybe it was a rift between the families back then, and this is that energy still. That's the thing, when anger comes in, and that's sitting on this judgment. If something happened in the family like 2 generations ago, and grandma and your grandmother got in a big argument with someone else in the family, her sister or something, and they had a family business or something like that, and then they start getting this big argument, and she was really angry, and it was never resolved, and then she passed that anger down to your mother, and then your mother was still angry, and now you're angry, but you don't even know these people. And you're like, why am I so angry? I would rather be happy. That's the kind of energy. It can be, anger is the gift that keeps on giving, but it can really motivate people. And it's kind of, and justify taking actions that you shouldn't take at times as well. So the Aquarius energy is talking about that first new moon that we were talking about. That was in the sign of Aquarius. And the opposing energy to that was the Leo energy, and that's like having pride. You know, Leo is a the Leo energy, if you think about the stage of life for Leo, it would be like teenage boys that could be very impulsive. And so this is about being more disciplining your mind and experimenting. Like, okay, if I do this, what happens? And then I'll double up on it if it's working for me, and if it's not working for me, then I'll just let it go. I won't sit here for 3 generations and be angry about it. That kind of energy. Because sometimes those disagreements that come in from generation can be really something really minor that happened, but it was blown out of proportion. Sometimes it's, and we're talking about this cosmic judgment, and we have this is the cosmic heartbeat. And Sagittarius actually there's a black hole in the Milky Way that's considered to be the heart of the Milky Way in the universe. So this is talking about a cosmic judgment. This is coming down, and we're seeing that being played out right now. A lot of gossip, a lot of talk going on about the files that have come out, a lot of really wild shift happening. And every day that you go and you look, I only looked on the news here for about 10 minutes today, and now we had the prince or former prince being arrested, and it's the first time that's happened in about 400 years. And then it was someone that high up in the government that was I think the ambassador to the United States, was arrested today. And now the king is actually calling in lawyers. It's just every day it's whoa. And the last time someone in the royal family was ever arrested was 400 years ago. And that's major change. And so every day it's kind of and this person's involved and that person's involved, and it's kind of fools rushing in, and with the AI and everything, is this AI or is this really true? Is that kind of energy. So you have to be very discerning right now about the energy and withhold judgment, because until you know the facts, because you could go off on you don't want to be tweeting all over the place and then find out, oh, that wasn't true. It's just not a good idea right now. So it's really having a lot of discipline right now, and that's what the planet needs, so that we can get to the truth. And yes, if justice needs to be meted out, then we'll mete it out. But it's just wild out there, and every day it's someone else. It's another and I have feeling this is just the tip of the iceberg. But this is cosmic justice. A lot of these people thought, oh, they're going to get away with this because they've gotten away with it maybe for generations. But now the shift is hitting the fan, basically. And you can see it. It's just oh my goodness. Because all these millions of files were dumped. And it's just, we're all living it right now. And it's kind of is there anything that's really true that we are seeing in the world right now? And so this is about having the courage to be able to face this at this time. I mean, it's affecting the economy, it's affecting everything. And so people are, and then we have a situation in Mexico, where there's a bunch of Canadians over there right now, and Americans that are on vacation, and the whole, there's a big deal going on there. And so it's just you go on vacation to get away from it all, and then you get stuck in some other country. All of a sudden there's this big blow up over there. So it's there's nowhere to go in the world right now, it feels where this energy isn't rampant. And it is, I feel, being orchestrated by the universe, and it is justice coming in. And this Sagittarius card comes in quite often on this judgment right now, saying that this is not just this isn't just people judging each other. This is God's judgment, and this is also the planet, the universe, putting things back in order. And this Virgo moon that's coming up, that's what it's about. Right now, the best thing you can do is get your paperwork together, get everything in order, because if weird things happen and you need that information, you'll have everything organized and your environment will support your energy. So the Emperor energy, yes, performance. So this is talking about the Emperor is an alpha male energy, and so this is about being able to produce. And this is saying to be able to produce, you need to have your environment support you and be in that energy. The Cancer is talking about the power of these eclipses right now, and how it's facilitating the truth coming out, whatever the energy is. And it's also talking here, this cycle of heartbreak is ending. So this is when the Fool goes on their journey, they start at the 0 point and they end at 21. And then, whoops, sorry about that. Then they end at the card 21, and that talks about that cycle is now over. And I feel like we're all experiencing this. I mean, the people at the top are really, like, they're the ones being featured, but it's playing out in smaller, in average people's lives. Like, it's not being broadcast all over the news, but similar situations are happening in individuals' lives right now. So it's just kind of, that's the energy of the earth right now. Justice, like it's time for justice. And I mean, temperance is devotion to God's plan, like staying on the path, not giving into temptation. And I feel like, I mean, this is judgment. It's coming in. Like, seriously, we need to take a look at what's happening in the world right now, because if, half of this is even true, it's horrifying, like what's all going on. And so a lot of people are, feeling this right now. And that's why I don't feel that this reading, Libra, is partly about you, but it's partly about the effect of what's happening in the world. And kind of saying, hey, as mature adults, we all need to be able to remain calm and get the proper information before we take steps of action. So this impulsive energy is not the way to go. And if there was some sort of infidelity in your, and this could have been your great-grandmother for all we know, and there's been all this talk and people arguing and fighting, that's kind of like, how can we expect the government not to be like the people at the top if we're at the bottom? We're for 3 generations arguing over something, and now there you are, and you're like you're caught in the middle of all of this, and you're not even, like, you don't even know these people. It's kind of like that, like, why do I care again? It's that kind of energy. So I guess what this reading is saying is pick your battles wisely. That for sure is good information right now. And have your facts straight. Get ready, because I feel like I'm going to be doing a reading about next after these ones for the full moon coming up, because I really feel like that energy is going to change things a little bit. We'll have more information. People will be calmer. It'll be easier to get something done. Right now, it would just be like, it's a good time to reflect, learn from any mistakes you've made, learn from the mistakes of others, and just, get your ducks in a row. Like, that's what the Virgo energy wants. All right, I do hope that you have gotten something out of this reading. I feel like it's good advice. It's not the most fun reading, but give it a like and comment if you did get some value out of it, and consider subscribing to the channel if you resonate with the energy. I would be honored if you did so, and I will be back with that. Next reading will be that bonus reading for the full moon eclipse on March 3rd. Bye for now.